Thank you for joining me this morning. My name is Zoe Bailey. I'm the curriculum leader for sport and health at WQE College. Purpose of this morning is just to give you a little bit more information about the course and give you a chance to ask some questions and hopefully give you some answers. Anything that we're not able to answer today, obviously we'll come back to via email, or you're very welcome to email the admissions team at the college. So in the sport department then, we offer a variety of courses, some of which you'll probably be aware of because you will have attended our open day or have come to interview, but I'm aware that some of you might be on here reconsidering your choices. So this is our sports team. So we've got a wide variety of staff, and hopefully when you join the college you'll get to meet all of them in one form or another. We're very lucky because we're all specialists in PE. You know, in a lot of institutions you get some staff who may be biologists teaching a section or psychologists teaching a section of academic courses, but for us we're all PE and sports specialists. So we're offering 3 different types of courses, so 2 at level 3 and 1 at level 2. So we offer the A-level PE and we offer the level 3 Cambridge Technical in physical activity, which is our more vocational course. So I'm going to talk a little bit about those courses, but also just to mention that for those of you, there might be some of you that applied for a level 2 programme, and obviously if you're successful on your level 2 programme, then you'll be able to progress potentially onto a level 3 programme. And obviously with you all being such sporty students, we run a lot of competitive teams and we run enrichment activities as well. So I'm just going to start with the A-level PE. So most of you will be aware that in the A-level PE it's all exam based. So the sort of students that we normally get on these courses, they're students that are happy with going through a programme, much like some of you GCSEs, and sitting exams at the end. So those students that are good at exams, because you get one chance to sit the 2 papers in that summer term. Obviously we do lots of assessment leading up to that and lots of practice, but it's just the one formal exam. Different subjects in the different papers. So we've got anatomy and physiology, skill acquisition and sport and society in the first paper, which is generally the topics that you'll study in the first year. And then in paper 2, they take those topics a little bit further into exercise physiology and biomechanics, sports psychology and sport and society and technology. So the second year tends to be more about elite performance and the first year tends to be more about participation. The other thing about the A-level PE that's different to our vocational courses is that you're actually assessed on your ability to perform in one sport. So in order to get good marks, in order to get good marks, you need to be performing regularly in a competitive situation, and that needs to be at a relatively high standard. So we would kind of expect people to be playing for their school teams as well as probably playing for clubs outside of school or college time. So the A-level PE is really for those students who have got good strong science grades because it's quite an academic course, good written language because it's a lot of essays, there's a lot of exam-based longer answer questions in the exams, and it's for those students that are also good practical performers. Now, a lot of the content that we cover in A-level PE is very similar to the content covered in the OCR Cambridge Technicals, but it's delivered in a slightly different way. So if you do a vocational course, whether it be a 1 A-level equivalent, which is the extended certificate, a 2 A-level equivalent, which is the diploma, or a 3 A-level equivalent, which is the extended diploma, you will be taught in units. So you'll do a unit of study, let's say, for example, body systems unit, where you look at anatomy and physiology, much like the A-level. But at the end of that particular unit, you'll sit an external exam. So for first year students, that would be the unit that you'd study between January and Christmas. As well as there being some exam units throughout the course, obviously more in the extended diploma, less in the extended certificate, we've also got our coursework units. So again, you'd be studying a unit of work, a particular topic, let's say, for example, sports organisation and development. And in that topic, you'd study it in college, in lessons, we'd do assessments and practice questions, but then you would be expected then to either sit an exam or do a piece of coursework. So coursework can be presentations, it can be written reports, it could be a practical demonstration that you have to do, it could be scenario based. So for example, if you in one of the bigger qualifications and you do about exercise and fitness, then it might be a question of you taking a client through a particular program and us videoing you and your approach and your customer service skills and things like that. So although the Cambridge Technical has a different vocational approach to it, it does contain a lot of similar content. So really, when we're trying to make the choices between doing an A-level or the Cambridge Technical, you need to think about where you're going to be most successful. So are you an exam person or are you a project person? And where do you think you could get the best grade? Both courses are worth exactly the same UCAS points at level 3. So it's about you thinking about where are you going to be most successful. Are you likely to get an A at A-level PE, having studied for 2 years and sitting 2 exams and including your practical performance? Or are you likely to do better if you sit the qualification on a project unit by unit basis to achieve the pass merits and distinctions as you go along? So that's really a question for you to think about. Now, lots of you will probably have already started to make your choices about whether or not it's A-level or Cambridge Technical, but we'd ask you to think very carefully about that. And it may well be that at the start of the year, we'll have some discussions with you about which course we think is most appropriate for you. And again, giving you the best chance to be successful. So we'll study in lots of different ways. So these are some of the things that you can expect in the classroom and outside of the classroom. In particular, in the vocational courses, there's an emphasis on work experience. So the bigger the qualification, the more work experience you'll do. If you're doing the smaller qualification, you'll still do some work experience because you'll do a sports coaching unit, which forms the basis of the first year. So in that, you would expect to be having a 6-week placement of your choice in an environment where you will be able to do some coaching. So again, just to reiterate that the theory is very similar to the A-level PE. We still do all the sports coaching theory in A-level PE, but you don't actually carry any coaching out as part of your assessment. But with the Cambridge Technical, you would do the theory about sports coaching and then you'd actually be assessed applying that theory to a practical situation. So we try and vary lessons as much as we possibly can. Probably, if I'm honest, there's more classroom-based learning in the A-level PE, more variety in the Cambridge Technicals because of the vocational element. Obviously, for some of you, you might be studying at level 2 and progressing on to level 3. So at level 2, we're offering the Cambridge Technicals, the vocational route, which lends itself nicely to progression into the level 3 programme. In there, again, similar foundations in terms of topics. So we'll look at the anatomy and physiology, we'll look at fitness, practical sport and leadership. And the same thing applies. We'd expect you to be able to apply your practical knowledge. And some of you may have done some of this in school with things like the Community Sports Leaders Award. So in addition to that then, on your timetable, as sports students, you're probably going to have some sort of sporting enrichment. So that could be something that's competitive. So you might want to be playing for one of our teams. And in particular, if you were doing the A-level PE, we'd expect you to be playing for one of our teams so that we can gather regular evidence of your competitive performances. And it allows the staff to make good assessment on your performances. Or for some of you, it might be that you want to get involved with some fitness, so things like boxing fit, couch to 5K, boot camp fitness, or it might be that you want to try something new like volleyball or squash. There's also some opportunities to get involved in leadership and volunteering. And again, obviously, if you're doing the vocational courses, then there'll be lots of opportunity for that, with it, whether it would be with local county sports partnerships, schools, clubs, leisure centres. And there'll be opportunities for you to get involved in gaining some additional coaching qualifications and leadership experience. So I hope that gives you a little bit of an overview about where we're at. I know that some of you may have heard a lot of that before and some of you may have some questions in particular. So I'm going to have a look at your questions now and see if we've got anything that we need to ask. So if you want to put any questions on the question and answer, then please do so, and I'll endeavour to answer what I can. Don't be shy, you can ask anything you like. It could be about the college, it could be about the campus, it could be about what lessons are like, what other teachers are like, how your college day might look, anything like that, anything you can think of.
We've got one.
Okay.
Okay, so it's from Tristan, and it's, how will the diploma worth 2 A levels be viewed by universities?
Okay, so vocational courses are accepted widely by universities, and they very much like students who have done courses like the diploma, because it shows other skills. So if you do a vocational course, you have to be very organised. You're used to producing projects, you're used to meeting deadlines, you're used to receiving feedback and redrafting work, which is essentially how universities work on their degree programmes. So although not all universities will accept it, so you probably wouldn't get into Oxford with a diploma in sport, most sporting universities would accept it, and it's a widely recognised qualification. It has the same standards as a BTEC, so but it's just run by a different exam board. So yeah, places like Loughborough University, Cardiff, Durham, they would all accept those programs, but they would be looking for you to achieve those higher grades, so the distinctions and the distinction stars.
Okay, that's it at the minute.
Okay, well, like I said, don't be shy. Feel free to ask. At the end of the day, it's about you guys making the best decision to make sure we get you on a program where you're going to be successful. And I would say that they're, generally year on year, we have students that apply for the A level and say, yeah, that's definitely what I want to do. It's the A level I want to do. That's the, the gold standard. But actually they end up finding themselves on the Cambridge Technical Programme and find that that actually suits them much better, and they're actually much more successful. We've got a student who's on our A-level programme at the moment who worked really, really hard for the 2 years, but did struggle with the course content. And I remember having a conversation with him at the beginning of the year saying, I think you ought to consider the Cambridge Technical, your science grades are good, but they're not excellent. So, maybe you ought to think about that. And he's, no, I'm insisting, I really want to do the A-level. And having left, obviously now this year, he's saying to me, I wish I'd taken your advice. So we're not trying to make life difficult for you. We're just trying to make sure that we get you on the right courses to be successful. I can't believe sports students don't have any questions. Most of the time you're too chatty. Okay, well, if you genuinely don't have any questions, then we'll move on, shall we?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, if you think of something later, yeah, you're very welcome to email the admissions team, so admissions@wqe.ac.uk, and they'll pass those on to myself, and I can contact you directly. So it's very nice talking to you all. I look forward to seeing you once you've got your GCSE results in August. Enjoy your summer. I'll see you later.